Hello, collective, to another timeless reading. This reading is yours if you are seeking emotional redemption. Please know that you may be here because of my other channel, which can be found in the description box below. Please know I am Master Seventh, and I offer services in regards to readings of any kind and or remote healing sessions. For more information on that, you can either reach out or check out the description box below. All right, it's been a while since I've been able to create some content, and not many of you are going to actually be listening out to this reading. I know that. So we'll carry forth like it's none of our business. For energy will reach those who will reach, even if they haven't listened out to this reading. For those of you who are here, you are, for a lack of better words, jumping the gun. To know a few things before we get started, that past, present, and or future energetical timelines could come forth within a reading, and use your discernment to take all that belongs to you, for this is a general collective reading. And feminine and masculine energies are non-binary, so they are also non-gender specific. Patience is what's lacking in this vortex of a portal. People being distracted by the wrong things because they are eager to begin narratives that allow them to find groundedness within. Yet the irony of finding groundedness within through external means is that you are distracting yourself from the actual causation as to what the narrative of your internal desires or internal shadows or internal quote-unquote flaws are actually trying to portray to you. The egos that flaw here, it's not necessarily anyone's fault, yet through the systemic indoctrination of what just the variables are for being part of the system. So trying to learn independence through this is a very difficult feat. So it is very common to use law of attraction, law of manifestation to become more adept to what personal strive is, personal motivation, personal desire, personal goal seeking, personal well-being, mental wellness, mental health, and just being part of a community as well. Being an accolade, being a citizen, being a novel human being. There are plenty of sources and resources and opportunities and inopportunities that are either available or unavailable to individuals, no matter where they are in a geographical realm on this existence. And that is what the overall narrative is, and to bring awareness to an ongoing issue and wanting to once again be participant of quote-unquote healing the world is an interesting narrative to read for, because the narrative of how the individuals are wanting to participate is again some sort of distraction, which means you're not following through shadow aspects. You're not listening to darkness. You're afraid of the dark. You're afraid of the absence of light. You're afraid of listening to your fears. You're afraid of what the fears may want to represent themselves as, what the consequences are addressing to the fears if you can control the narrative of entertaining them, and if you will be outcasted of society for entertaining your shadows. They're common fears to have. There are a lot of misrepresentations of what addressing shadow aspects of selves could be, whether there are of violence, of war, of cult, of manipulation, of death, there is a strange warpness to get the dialogue going of what it means to represent shadow. And shadow is not of darkness. Shadow is not of darkness. Shadow is absence of light. The light can only exist through the workings of the mechanisms of what shadow is. Understanding that is understanding science, physics, quantum magics, quasars, how they operate and control the very existence that we share in. The only reason why we are alive is due to that darkness, which is not darkness, it is the absence of light. So, how do we proceed? We proceed in wanting to entertain the ego, because the ego is what represents who you are at any given time that you have your eyes open. And majority of you judge the world and how you either are going against it or with it through what it is that you see when you have your eyes open. The problem is when you have your eyes closed, making sense of that world once you have wanted to reach the pinnacle moment of resting, there's a lot of chaos of the mind occurring at this time for the majority of you, whether it's nightmares, whether it's insomnia, whether it's restlessness, whether it's traveling through different dimensions but seeing a lot of like turmoil and problems and violence and maybe even death. Not understanding what darkness really is and how it's trying to ask you to control it, by understanding your motion and the notion as to why you are the one as to who you are, and becoming not only aware but empowered by such. And once that becomes made clear, you can use the dialogue of the light aspects to control the shadow aspects of who you are, and become a sovereign individual in a republic land of the whole entire earthly realm of that of which we share. Judgment, action. You're being ridiculed at this time. A lot of you are diving into the astral world in order to make sense. The ego card here is here. It makes absolute sense. The devil is the ego, all right? In my other channel, you will hear me make readings of the devil, and where the devil is of your ego that doesn't know whether it's operating of light or of darkness. So it wants to play a game. That game is asking you to figure out what the ego is obsessed by. Your call of action, your call of duty, your call of belonging, your call of existence, your call of listening. And it doesn't give a shit whether or not you label them anything that you want to, as long as you're fucking moving. And most of you are not moving. A lot of you are just existing, wanting to make sense of the world and then keep it hidden that you're actually very much afraid of moving forward, because for that you feel too much. And by feeling too much, you are witnessing the judgment call of ether saying that you actually know little. You're too busy feeling, and emotions do not belong in ether. Emotions is a clear sign that you are still human and very much adapt to using your sensory mechanisms to accept that you've chosen the human experience, and for that love, or also learn to balance the hatred of feeling too much. Yet there is an obsession that you're not seeing that asks you in what universe you would like to dance with. Is it where the obsession is feeding the individual and never sharing, or feeding the individual and forcing absolution of eternal longevity? There is a complete different song and dance to either of those universes, both very much available. One is the flower of life, and the other is the eternal flower of life. I don't have to say anything. accept the tonality of the vibration of those vibrations, to allow the recipient to feel the truth of whether or not that resonancy is actually a reality that they could participate in, to quote unquote believe whether it is true. You're dancing with your ego at this time. You've been coerced in the last narratives of a few years to get yourself thinking beyond the paradigms of your own existence. However, that conversation was brought to your doorstep is exactly how the system is asking you to participate in feeding what we're going to define as what the fuck is the devil. Who is control of the ultimate damnation of how one person can scrub on their knees and break their back, when in their heart and their hearts they're actually a good person? Why is that fair of an algorithm to be a variant of a virus that the majority of the people that upkeep the system are the very much people that have a broken back? So we have the Seven of Cups delusion, and we have Eight of Swords anxiety. Yeah. So that's just the name of the game here, right? The name of the game is asking you to look at your reality and feel with your emotions that which you have the honor to do so, and understand what it means to feel in this existence as of that which it is that you are, and hold no one responsible for making you feel this way. But learn from those lessons as to why you're feeling this way. And the only way to really achieve that is to close your eyes and listen. And listen to the point where when you understand the story is finished. And it will press the limits of your anxiety, because it will press the limits of your existence to feel. And those feelings will perpetuate thoughts, just as those thoughts will perpetuate feelings. But to feel is of no relativity to the universe. The universe, however, does dance with the interest of seeing you feel as much as you do. It is what you do with those feelings that answers to how gracious the ether is going to provide you with non-delusions. And those non-delusions will only be conquered once you understand why anxiety exists within you. It is not that you are sensitive. Yet the system may want to tell you that you're sensitive. And for that, the sensitivity, you are vulnerable. And for that vulnerability, you must protect yourself with medication, with distance, with masks, with all these things. You need to protect yourself. Well, that's a delusion. Because if you are 100% valid and you feel 100% in your perhaps world too much, then isn't that an honor? Isn't it an honor to feel so much, and then an honor to try to intellectualize what it is that you are emoting? And to become intellectual with your emotions is to then have reached emotional intelligence, where you can then subtly become a master of what is delusional and what is not, because you understand that everything is a mirroring aspect of everything else. So in a reality check, we are living in the utmost non-reality, which is the most real aspect to our existence. For thus you are real, for thus you are flesh, for thus you are breath, for thus you are blood, for thus you can dehydrate, you can shrivel, this body can cease to exist, for that you are mortal. Immortality is a judgment based on the light of which is your consciousness travels, and for what the light of consciousness decides to uphold itself, to live out this consciousness. That's immortality. Someone's thinking about getting tattoos. Something like a little bit with maybe some Japanese flair. I'm getting even Polynesian flair. 7 of Swords, Deceit. Temperance, Healing. 4 of Pentacles, Control. Seven of Swords is a card that I do not like. I absolutely despise this card than any other card. I'll take the Death card and the Devil card 3 times over before I want to see a Seven of Swords card show up in a reading. And you ask yourself why, and that's a good thing. Because it's that impersonal, personable. It's that much your business. It's that much also maybe not in your realm of knowing. That's how much we have to look forward for what the deceit is. Because there is a problem with this cycle. However long the cycle goes is up to how long the Seven of Swords wants to keep showing up in the fucking reading. And the Seven of Swords will trigger the majority of individuals and immediately blame the devil, meaning everybody else but thyself. So I'm gonna let this fucking rock. Because this individual understands by feeling too much, and this individual wants to control delusions. Yet at the same time, you're also becoming a bit narcissistic in the realm of not understanding when to share, when to show up, when to forgive, when to say something, and when to shut the fuck up. So these are quarrels in your personal life that you need to get over if this resonates. And from the majority of you, it may. And it isn't about being vicious or scaring that you don't have the backings of the fucking universe to get you through this. It's that you, the individual, know too much because you, the individual, feel too much. To feel too much is the beauty of existence. What you may have forgotten is to let those feelings guide you. For that, you're too busy, too distracted, too obsessed with other things, too obsessed with healing, with a narrative externally that it needs to make sense for you to step into it, instead of allowing it to run through you because you're already part of it. There's a different fucking dance. It's crazy because from where I see it, I see a lot of resemblance of what I used to do, becoming obsessed with trying to figure out love, falling in love with love and the possibilities, falling in love with healing, falling in love with the devil in the sense of like, oh my God, the devil is the ego. How are we not even understanding that the devil is the fucking ego? And it's just sickening to see a lot of people bruised of the same thing. What becomes even more nauseating is that you can tell people exactly how to get out of it, and they do not take control of their own actions. That's how much they fucking fear themselves and do not trust the secrets of the mysteries of the universe. So, I don't know what to say to this, because if I get a little bit too more nuanced here, I will start becoming very nitpicky, and I will maybe start asking you to question things. And I am not here to trigger those emotions within you, because for that, you already feel them, and I can smell them from eons away. You're playing with fire, man. You're playing with fire. Some of y'all are playing with fire because you don't understand the emotional manipulation that the ether sees you doing. You take a little, then you take a lot. Then you hide a little, and you say you don't have anything to hide. It's a weird mockery. It's a weird fucking mockery of shit going on. And I get it, because it's fear. It's fear. It's fear doing this to you. You know, it's fear. It feels, nah, I'm not gonna dance with that. I'm not gonna dance with that shit. I ain't going there. And it's not that I can't. It's that I know I will win the battle. And that battle is not my battle to fight. It is my honor to read and try to make sense of. Because for that, it's connected already to the web of all that we share. So, yeah, I want to see you get out of that shit. But it's not my business to make sure that you get out of that shit. That is where you need to mind your own business. And that's where it's becoming very interesting. Because that's where the Seven of Swords is like, well, I don't know what that means to mind my own business. And that's not true. Yeah. The Tower, transformation, strength, bravery. I mean, for those of you who understand tarot, these are strong ass fucking cards. I don't have to say anything. Seven of Swords is completely doused, encircled by major arcanas, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond. I don't have time for this bullshit. I do not have time for this bullshit. This is emotional redemption, not universal justice. Go check out the other channel. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Check out that other channel, because I have nothing nice to say. And some of you are like, ah, man, she can't even, like, she's withholding information. Yeah, okay. Okay. It seems like someone needs permission to see whether or not they're being heard in order to validate whether or not their existence can actually reach as far as they do. And listen, I'm not here to validate your existence. Other energies around you are completely responsible for that, not I. And you also make everyone business around you. You make it their business to get to that level. And maybe that's part of the deceit, because you're so busy needing to be validated by other people instead of validating the internal parts of you that are beckoning to be fucking listened to, by the way. That's what I can say about this shit. Oh, what a surprise. Five of Cups. Is that a surprise to me, the King of Wands? Nope. No, it ain't. Because it's the call of action y'all have been on for a long time. And I said in the very beginning, there are things that are just systemically wrong with a lot of the formulas that have already been in fucking patterns for over an existence and for it to continue to come in one shape or form, which is the flower of life here, all right? That shit is cray-cray, all right? And it doesn't mean that those of you have it even tattooed on yourself, that it's a bad thing. No, it is that you've taken upon yourself to recognize subtle energies, and now it's about recognizing other energies that, by the way, are not very subtle. Okay? That sudden inertia of energy is not coming from what's left of beauty of the flower of life paradigm of symbolism. No, that shit is over and done with. Okay? I'm not gonna break this shit down. This is not class. I'm not breaking this shit down and making it make sense to you. You either vibe with it, if you don't, you carry on if it makes sense, if it doesn't. Period. But the ego is what is being entertained by all the possibilities dancing in front of you, all this technology, all this possibility, all this cry for attention. I mean, the darkness is saying, please pay attention to me. And some of y'all are like obsessed with it, for real. Yet the way that you're doing it, you don't understand the deceit of entertaining the quote-unquote wrong parts of the devil. Whatever, I can't. Just can't. It's just, ugh. Queen of Wands. Ego. Oh, Lord. Devil. Devil. Listen. Sex can be key here, all right? Sex can be the key thing here, all right? And I'm saying this oh, you ladies and gentlemen, I swear. When it comes to touching flesh, some of y'all have that shit completely fucked up. Y'all not touching to feel. You're not touching to exist and breathe the same breath together. Y'all just fucking to fuck. And then celebrating the fact that you can fuck each other. And that unanimously, oh, it felt great of an opportunity because we're just eclectic in doing so. And then there is a boom. Look at the variables. Why are the variables still sad? What kind of shit is this shit? Like, y'all are just, fuck me. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Blame there. I see it, but then I don't. I don't want to address it, but then I do. I want to do something, but I have no energy to do it. I have ailments at my shit, and I just don't know how to comfortably like calm them down. I don't really know how to find the right healing mechanisms for me. I feel like gaslit. I feel like manipulated. I feel like I'm manipulating. And that, let me tell you something. If you are owning up to the fact that you're beginning actually to understand and recognize that manipulating, congratulations. You've mastered learning how to dance yourself away from the Seven of Swords energy and into this Eight of Swords energy, and acceptance that anxiety is something that is not part of you. So it is not your fault. So you're learning how to let go of those traumas and rehash certain patterns. All right, let's just interject that for a second. I applaud that. It's not for all of you, but for some of you. You're recognizing that you can turn around and face these energies, and that's what I like. You can turn around and face these energies and invigorate another form of passion. And to do that is to recognize things and to dance with the recognition and entertain this recognition by listening to the story from beginning, middle, and end. And only you can make sense of what that means. Magician, Fool, some of you are going to go in that Virgo, the Hermit energy, but like in the mind, not a physical like pulling away from, but in the mind. It's beautiful. The Fool, King of Stones of that Virgo energy, King of Swords energy, Virgo, Libra. Virgo, Libra? I'm getting Libra. I mean, that's what it said. Interesting. Giving yourself a chance to look at things from a subtle perspective, which is a remembered one. Something you can agree with because it's something that is part of you. You thought about it a long time ago. You're just remembering it again. The Sun, Ten of Stones, Ten of Swords, and the Knight of Stones. Yeah, you're just remembering it again. You're re-inspired, reignited, repassioned because you can understand the concept of turning around and facing the energies. And that inspires interests with subtle energies that haven't been entertained by you, let alone not by your ego lately. Because you couldn't address the missing parts of you, but maybe now or within this cycle of these energies are becoming more addressed. And that's through your light body, all right? The accolade of knowing what it is that you possibly are, and then identifying through that with the variables that are externally made available to help you remember what it is that you are. All right, collective, that's all that I have for you at this time. I think it's enough, huh? I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.